Hey, what's up, all you awesome traders of the internet? I hope you guys are doing great, had a great weekend, and you're ready to attack this week. I think this week is going to be really, really good. It's going to be filled with opportunities. There's a lot of geopolitical stuff on deck that can move the market. We just have to be in the right place at the right time and take advantage of these. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about, I got a good question, and I did a shadow mentoring session last week that kind of brought this to light. So I do want to talk to you about, whether you're an angry trader or not. And that's very important because, I was asked, hey, yeah, you talk about frustrated traders, you talk about the annoyed traders and the impulsive traders. But what about us traders that go straight to being angry? We bypass all of these emotions. And yeah, one of these emotions is a trigger, but we don't spend any time there. We just go straight to being pissed off. So, how do we handle that? How do you work with us on that? And so, I'm going to share that with you real quick. But I promised you if I did take a payout on Friday, that I was going to, go through the timestamp on it. Unfortunately, the open I kind of missed and didn't get the trade I wanted to get. So, or overnight session, I didn't make the money I wanted to make. So I didn't reach the target for me to withdraw money until 11. I had a late trade that, put me over, my goal. So if I didn't make it, I would just have to wait till Wednesday to take a payout, which makes Wednesday's payout bigger. But, that's just the way I have it set up right now. But I did it at 11:06, and bam, at 11:52, not even an hour, my payout request got approved. And this is Friday. This is insane for a Friday. But what took the longest was it getting processed because it was a little over 2 hours before it actually got processed and sent to my bank. But by 3:30, when the bank does its reconciliation or whatever, it was in my bank account. So it was in there by 3:30. And like I said, this happens over and over and over. There's no snags with these guys. Now, I'm not saying that there'll never be. Nothing's ever perfect. We're dealing with electronic stuff that has to go through different hoops. And one of those hoops could get attacked. One of them could break down. You just don't know. But, as a rule, as being consistent, they're as consistent as can be. So yes, Take Profit Trader is my number one um, broker. You guys know what to do. Use code AJT66 until they stop this 30% off no fee deal. Eventually they'll go to something else, but right now it's the best thing going. Some people think, hey, this is more, you end up paying more money. No, look at it in the long run. Look at it in the long run. Look at it as, the stress that you gotta have with these other places, waiting to see if your payout's gonna get approved, waiting to see if you broke a rule that you didn't know about. It's crazy. It's well worth it. All right, so again, we're talking about angry traders. Those of you that go straight to getting pissed off. Because here, what usually happens when you're angry, the first thought is to seek revenge. Okay, and if you haven't learned by now, Reciprocity is a very, very, very dangerous motivation in trading. It's a dangerous motivation in life because most of the time there's no winning when you're acting solely on those emotions without thinking. Okay, how I can't tell you how many times I've seen people that just reacted in revenge and ended up getting their ass kicked or things just turning out worse for them. Okay, there's just no winning. There's only degrees of losing. And typically you dig a deeper hole or even purposely blow your account. You know, saying, I'll fix you. You made a mistake. You stupid to do this. I'll fix you. Okay, and you blow your account. I was doing a shadow mentoring session this last week, and I witnessed it happen real time. I witnessed it happen real time. The dude stopped listening to me and just doubled his position and blew his accounts. And then within 15 minutes, he was very remorseful. I mean, you sit there and it's like, who are you taking revenge on? You're taking revenge on yourself. You're only hurting yourself. You can't take revenge on the market because, you know, the market will beat you to a pulp. Okay, but we had a breakthrough. We were able to pinpoint where his destructive trigger was. And that's what you have to do. Just like anything else. I know it sounds familiar. You know, it should, because no matter what your destructive emotion is, whether it's fear, greed, FOMO, whether you become impulsive, you know, whether you're a frustrated trader, you all have to figure out what that destructive trigger is. In order to overcome it, you've got to identify that trigger. All right. So for us, as angry traders, when we just get pissed off, right out, I mean, a losing trade destroys your mindset for the day. Okay. You've got to stop, log off, and walk away. You've got to do that first. Okay? Got to do that first. But you need to take it a step further. Once you stop, you need to engage in something that you can enjoy and you could get immersed in. Because if not, if you just stop and you do nothing, or you start fumbling around finding something chores to do that you don't like, you're just going to keep feeding the fire, fanning the flames. So find something that you enjoy. So for instance, I've gone through several things throughout my trading career because I didn't want them to get stagnant. You know, I didn't want this to get stagnant. So what I did, like I used to build model airplanes. The old Army, Navy, Air Force, all these old planes. I used to love building those. And then I moved to working on RC cars. I would buy old gas-powered RC cars off Amazon, fix them up, you know, refab them, and sell them. I mean, that was something I did. You know, I would go bike riding, or I would go to the lake. You know, just things that I could just immerse myself in. You know, go fishing and not have to worry about thinking about the negative stuff. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to do, is establish that, so that while you're trying to identify your triggers, you're not going to destroy your trading. Because the only way to identify your triggers is to trade. You can't fix what's wrong by not trading. So you have to trade. And that's why I think prop firm stuff is good, because you're not going to lose a lot of money. Okay, you're not going to lose thousands of dollars in a week trying to figure this stuff out. Okay, because you shouldn't be trading in a pro account anyway. You should be, if you're an angry trader, you should just be in the test phase. But again, remember, don't just walk away. Find something that you can enjoy doing. Okay, because what's going to happen is your desk is going to end up like this. And we don't want that. Okay, we don't want this. I have broken 3 laptops. 3 laptops. You know, as I was coming along. Because I would slap the I know 2 of them I slapped the wrist pad, and that's where the hard drive is. So I destroyed that. One of them I just threw outside on the ground. It's anger is real. And trying to get revenge on things that you think or that you blame for your failures is immature and stupid. So you've got to stop and got to find something that you can get immersed in. And then we identify the trigger. Okay, and in this guy's case, his trigger was as simple as taking a perfect setup and it not working. Taking a perfect setup and it not working. And he stops out, and then it turns around and works. And you have a huge move. That's what triggered it. Just that quick. And it triggered him enough to just blow his account. You know, in a matter of seconds. Not listening to me scream to him to stop. I wish I had control of his platform, because I would have logged off right then and there. But I just watched him blow 5 accounts. And it's scary, and it happens. And I know it happens to a lot of you guys. You may not blow your accounts, but you may try to take revenge trades. You miss a trade, then you want to jump right in because you don't want to, lose out. You want to make money. You want to take advantage of these moves because they don't happen all the time. I understand that. I get it. I was in that position. But I can tell you the 2-step process. Walk away, find something interesting that you enjoy doing, something that you can immerse yourself into and not think about trading. And then once you get that down, start trying to identify the trigger so we could work on eliminating that trigger. And you'll be surprised how fast your trading will turn around. You'll be surprised how fast it turns around. So that's what I got for you guys today on that. Let's take a look at what's happening in the market. What we're going to be looking at starting today at 6 p.m. That's when the futures market opens. I'm looking for, if we build off of this, if we open higher than this daily pivot here, I think we could be going to a 52-week high tomorrow, on tomorrow's session. I fully believe we could be doing that. If we open below this, we may be getting a pullback day or a rest day. So we just have to pay attention to where this opens. Now, it doesn't matter what it does after it opens. I just want to see where it opens. And that's going to give me an idea of where I want to put it most likely to go once it gets squared away for the day. So that's on gold. And then on the S&Ps, again, we've got some good geopolitical drama going on that could really get this market moving. You can see we rejected here. This is just what we were looking at. All the way down to the 20. And that's exactly what we talked about for Friday. That's exactly what it did. And exactly what allowed me to come back and make a little bit of money to, take my payout Friday. But hey, if we can get below the 20 in this daily pivot, we've got a nice little window down here. But if things are quiet Monday and we don't really get much, we may just have an inside day, or we may be stuck in between these daily pivots here. But it's just a matter of how it opens and the geopolitical news cycle tomorrow. But again, if you're not in and you don't have your accounts, I would get them. Now, this week has the potential to be a really huge week. So I'm excited about it. Not going to be disappointed if it doesn't, but I am excited about it, and I want to be prepared for the opportunity that I think we're going to get. So that's it for me today. You guys have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I hope everything works out for you going forward. So we'll see you soon.